Hello again, crafty friends. This is Kendra. I'm back with album number 2 of Norway, and now we're actually getting into Norway. If you didn't see video 1, there's going to be 4 altogether. So this is number 2, and this is the second part of our trip. We were in London for the first few days, and now we're in Norway. So once again, doing the journaling on these fun little envelopes. This was an add-on to the travel collection, and then I added the banner and the tag, stamped the date, and then put a sticker on the back that I bought when in Norway. And then back here is a embossing plate that I had it for a long time. I got some postcards while we were in the city of Stavanger, which is a fantastic town, and then this is Pilot Rock. So, and that was one of the places we went on one of our tours. So this was the city. This is a picture I took from the back of the ship, and we happened to be in Stavanger on Constitution Day, which is what you would consider in the US 4th of July, or Canada would be Canada Day probably. There were parades, and it was really cool because everybody was dressed in a traditional dress. It was fantastic. It was a cool day to be there. It was cool that day, but it was sunny. So once again, the 11 by 8¼ pip photo with the digital name of the city and the date. I did that before I printed them out. And I did add these banners on the rest of my full photos at the beginning of each section. So this was a little bit more about the Constitution Day and things we saw. Norwegian flags everywhere, and this beautiful little girl in her traditional dress, and it was really, really cool. There was a parade with a band, and this was another picture I took from the ship, and there were just so many people on the streets that day. And here's a little bit more. Sorry, there's a little bit glare. A little bit more of the traditional dress, but it was beautiful. A picture of our ship from the other side of the town, and then a little bit about, I used this vellum tag and added a picture, and that was one of the waterfalls that we saw while we were on our tour. And then that was a piece of ephemera from the ticket from our excursion. We took a rib boat tour, and it was fabulous. We had so much fun, and so there's a picture of everybody that in our party that went, and then that was one of the sites that we saw. And I printed my journaling on a piece of vellum and added that. So then I bought another postcard, and so I wanted to include that. Oh, Pulpit Rock, excuse me, not Pilot Rock. And that was the view from down below. The boat was going through the fjords, and so it was absolutely fantastic. And so there we are, all dressed in our gear. And this is my daughter's son, my son-in-law, my husband and I. And just a lot more pictures from the day. We saw so much, and it was so gorgeous. This was a piece of the paper that I actually printed it out digitally. It was the one that was in my first album that had all the words, and I had cut part of it off, and then I decided, well, why not just make a digital full page of that stripe? So I did that, and then this was another piece of the pattern paper that I made into a tag. This tag in the background and the arrows were from an older travel kit. This was actually a picture of town that I took from our balcony in our in our suite, and so it was just really cool to see the architecture. And then we documented our dinner that night. We went to a sushi place on the ship, and it was delicious, and I don't even like sushi, so and then just a little bit more about what we did in the afternoon and evening. The next day was Geringer, and once again, our what we did that day, And this day was one of the most picturesque, most beautiful days of my entire life. So this was Geringer, and this was one of the first views that I saw when I looked out my window in the morning coming into the town. This was quite a long trek through the fjords, and was absolutely stunning. So we had multiple photo opportunities and there's a boat here, and it was just amazing. Another waterfall, worked out perfectly to add that to this vellum tag. And then on the back, I had these tags for several years from another travel collection, and it fit nicely on the back, and I just trimmed it so that it would fit beautifully. Once again, this view out at our balcony in the morning was fantastic. I couldn't stop adding pictures of this to our album. So this was a 4x10 page protector, and it really works out so nice for the panoramic. I highly recommend, if you have a trip that you've done that has a lot of nature shots, this, and especially in landscape, this is the right album to use. And the nice part is you can do a 4x6 and a 4x4 together, or you can do some 3x3 or 3x4 pictures. You can do a lot of different things with this particular page protector. So this was another postcard, and a fun story about every time we go somewhere that has a signpost, we all ask everybody where they want to go, and everybody points a different direction. So of course we had to get another picture of that. That started, I think, in Alaska, and we've done that in several other places. So some more family pictures. We had a tour planned for Geringer. It was a bike tour, and we were there on a Wednesday, and apparently Wednesdays are the days that they're closed. So we ended up just walking around town, but we had a great day. It was beautiful. So once again, some more of those pictures from the ship photographer that you never know what to do with. And some more postcards. And I love this because you can add brochures to read later. And I added a little geotag there to show where we were. Tried to add lots of different colors. These are some old pieces of chipboard that I had. I stamped on that one. This was a 3x4 card that I just used a die cut with some pattern paper behind, and just tried to mix up things a little bit. This was actually a 4x6 card that I ended up flipping to the side, and then we went on North Star, which is this really cool arm that goes up, and I used the Star quarterly scrapbook kit. I added this was from the travel collection, and so was this, but this piece were all from the Star, so was the background paper. And then I just did a picture of what it looked like going up with the mountains in the background. So it's just what a view. So it was a fun little add-on page. At night we went to Wonderland for dinner, which is fun for the experience. I can't say the food is my favorite, but it was fun. You actually use a paintbrush with water to uncover. Desserts are fantastic though, so go for dessert. And so there's another flip up like I did earlier. And then after dinner we went to this 270 lounge, which is, they have floor to ceiling windows. They do shows in there as well that are phenomenal. This was, the ship was Anthem of the Seas, and there was the piano player playing music, and he had never been to Norway, and he was just in awe of the views as he was playing. So it was fun to watch him outside and just see the expressions on his face and stuff. So anyway, that was one of our favorite evenings. A really fun memory of, we were just all sitting there and taking pictures. And so these are outside as we were leaving the fjords, and this one specifically was taken. I went upstairs right by the windows and took that, and so these reflections from the glass. So that was a phenomenal day. So that is volume number 2.